Hi, in this video we're going to talk about appreciation and depreciation. And first off, let's talk about and define appreciation. Appreciation simply is an increase in value for numerous reasons. And we'll define some of these reasons, and the first one is what's called earned increment. Now you see in that picture there I have a house with a hammer inside because earned increment is an increase in value due to some effort by the owner. So typically, remodeling will be considered to be earned increment, well, presuming there's an increase in value because of your remodel. So before remodeling, here we have a house that's of a certain size, and during the remodel, there's an addition being put on it, and after the remodel, we've got a much larger property, and the presumption here is that the value has increased. That increase in value is due to the owner's efforts, therefore it's referred to as earned increment or earned increase. And we see this happening quite frequently. I'm sure many of you have watched programs on channels like the HGTV channel, these programs like Flip or Flop or Fixer Upper and so on. All of these programs show how someone can improve the value, increase the value of the property above what the remodel cost is, and any kind of increase in value due to the owner's effort would be referred to as earned increment. Now another type of appreciation is unearned increment. An unearned increment is an increase in value due to things beyond the owner's control, market forces or things that happen outside of the property. So as an example here, the 2017, at the end of 2017, while I'm taping the series here, the market value, the average sales price of a home in Tucson is around $225,000. When I got into the business in 1971, guess what it was? Well, it was right around $15,000. So that increase in value has been brought about by changes in the marketplace, inflation, different styles of architecture and so on. But with the average sales price increasing over $200,000 over those 40 some odd years, most of that increase in value would be due to what's called unearned increment. Now there's a third type of appreciation that we need to talk about, and that's called plottage or assemblage. Plottage or assemblage is the process of increase in value by bringing smaller properties under one large ownership. So in many areas we have small individual properties that have some value in and of themselves, but if they're brought together and now can be developed into a multi-use or an apartment building or some sort of commercial property, therefore the value of the property is increased. That's called plottage or assemblage. You know, subdividing is kind of the opposite of plottage or assemblage. So you could take a subdivider who takes a big piece of land, breaks it down into many smaller parcels for sale. That's an increase in value typically of the whole, but by breaking it down into smaller. Well, sometimes we have these smaller parcels that in and of themselves, again, have little or no value, but by assembling them, bringing them together under one ownership, the value of that property increases or appreciates substantially. So there we have the three types of appreciation. We have earned increment, increase due to the owner's effort. We have unearned increment, increase in value not having anything to do with the owner's effort. And the third one is plottage or assemblage. Now let's take a minute and talk about depreciation. Now depreciation is defined as a loss in value for any reason. And again, there are a number of potential reasons why properties lose value. And the three categories of depreciation are deterioration, functional obsolescence, and third one, economic obsolescence. So let's first look at deterioration. Now, deterioration is simply a loss in value due to physical wear and tear of the property. The property is just aging over time and deteriorating. So leaky roofs, or bad plumbing, or termites eating away at the property. All of those are simple examples of deterioration. Oh, there's my house there. Well, that's when it was looking pretty good. pretty much deteriorated, and one of the questions that you have to ask yourself with deterioration, is it curable or incurable? Generally speaking, deterioration is curable. What does that mean? Curability means it's economically feasible to spend the money to bring it back into good condition. If it's like my house right there, that property looks like the deterioration might actually be incurable. But in most situations, it's worth it to spend the money to fix the roof or to fix the plumbing to bring the property back into reasonable condition, and that's called curable deterioration. Now, deterioration results from deferred maintenance, maintenance that the owner has put off into the future. And the process of bringing it back into reasonably good condition is called rehabilitation. Now, the next type of depreciation is functional obsolescence. And there's a number of different ways that functional obsolescence comes about. And the first one is through outdated features. And we see this most commonly in kitchens and bathrooms. So here's a bathroom that might work perfectly. The plumbing might be in very good condition. But if you walk into a house with a bathroom like that, you know the house is dated. That's 1950s, 1960s. And usually this is curable, and this is what we see a lot in these fixer-upper programs on TV. Or an outdated kitchen again, usually curable. Another cause of functional obsolescence is technological advances. Just imagine when Edison invented the light bulb, all of the properties that did not have electricity before, now of course the owners wanted to have electricity to light their homes. Newer homes after that period were built with electric systems in them. So the older homes without them or with subpar electrical systems suffered from functional obsolescence. Another cause of functional obsolescence is a poor floor plan. So you can imagine a 3-bedroom house where to get to the 3rd bedroom you've got to walk through one of the other bedrooms. Or these closely spaced internal columns in office buildings built years ago. New engineering and design specifications allow buildings to be much more open these days. So maybe the best example here is a 3 or 4 bedroom house with only 1 bathroom. You know, I grew up in a 3-bedroom house with 1 bathroom, as probably a number of you did, those homes would be considered to be functionally obsolete, because it's very rare today that home builders will build a 3-bedroom home, even a 2-bedroom home with only 1 bathroom. So that 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom house with 1 bath clearly is suffering from functional obsolescence and would cause it to be less valuable than a property with 2 or 3 bedrooms. This is usually incurable. A poor floor plan is oftentimes incurable. In other words, it may cost you more to cure it than it actually adds to the value. That doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't add that extra bathroom, but you have to realize that you're not going to get all your money back out of that improvement. Now, the third categorization of depreciation is economic obsolescence. Also, and make a note for yourself, external obsolescence. Because economic obsolescence is a loss in value due to things beyond the owner's control, outside of the property. So some examples would be, here's this hazardous chemical area, all right, and what about that house way down there? Do you think that the discovery of hazardous chemicals in this particular lot down the street is going to cause a loss in value to those properties in that neighborhood? You betcha it is. Or how about your neighbors who've got the old cars in the front there and the weeds growing high and etc. How's that going to affect the value of your home? Sure, it's going to cause a loss in value. Right? How many of you are that neighbor? Ask yourself that question. Another example of economic or external obsolescence would be simply market forces causing a drop in values. Well, here we have a chart showing the average and median sales prices of homes in the Tucson area from January or so of 2006 down to January of 2014. That's the latest information that I happen to chart. Because During this period of time, 2006 or so to the end of 2011, we were in the Great Recession. Property values continued to decline. All of that decline would be categorized as economic obsolescence. And then starting at the end of 2011, we saw property values starting to increase slowly. All of that increase would be considered to be an unearned increment, increase in value not due to the owner's effort, but again, just due to market forces. So economic obsolescence is usually considered to be incurable. Why? Because it's beyond our control as owners. And to recap, we have three different categories of appreciation. We have earned increment, increase due to the owner's efforts. We have unearned increment, increase due to forces outside of the property. And then we have this special category of plottage or assemblage. As far as depreciation is concerned, we have deterioration, a loss in value due to physical wear and tear. We have functional obsolescence, usually due to outdated features such as old kitchens and bathrooms, technological advances, or a poor floor plan. And then we have economic or external obsolescence. Well, that does it for our discussion on appreciation and depreciation. In another video, we're going to be talking about the market data approach and the cost approach.